Hello, Proxy Table Gaming fans. I am back, Hyper G, with yet another delve into the Saurian Ancients. And what do you know it? I found a wandering Lucky Sixes.
You managed to convince me to come on.
I know. I mean, put your name to something, Saurian, please.
Yeah, I know, right?
Mortal
Well,
enemies.
I thought if I'm going to do it, it's the whole book.
Yes. None of this messing about with a small
Half-assing.
section. Yeah,
Yeah, right?
exactly. Yeah, so you either get paid for the full whammy or
Yeah.
nothing, right? All or
Well,
nothing.
the fee is so much, you may as well go for the full package,
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, welcome back. I'm not going to
Mm,
say that Tommy and Dan didn't fill in well for you because they did a smashing job.
they did. They
But
did. Even I can't deny.
no, especially considering you and Tommy have got a little bit of a rivalry coming up soon. But
It all comes from him. You know what? I'm just happy to play. If he wants to stir things up, he can.
and he will. Good stuff. But we're not here to talk about you and Tommy, not right now
Oh
anyway.
no.
So there we go. I will say right from the off that once again with yours truly in charge of the technical side of things, I have replaced the videos with the little cartoony figures of
I
myself
like it.
and Lucky Sixes. So we're not quite as animated as we might normally be, but believe me, it's better than having terrible audio like I put Dan through in the other video. So,
That's true.
right, shall we crack on with this book, which we haven't really been able
Oh,
to get your thoughts on? So,
I know. I'm
I'm excited.
excited.
Yeah, me too, me too. And obviously, this is a full book review, and this is in follow up to the previous two that PTG has done. We are still planning on, well, sort of covering the sections we've already done in
Yeah.
detail, but going over them very quickly, if that makes sense. So,
Yeah, so in order to stop this video being a 4 hour long escapade, we're going to go through things pretty quickly.
mhm,
We will link in the other videos, so if you want them in more depth,
yeah.
you can do them when we get to that part. We'll certainly link them on the video here, so you can just click and come back and whatever. But yeah, and we also will be like saying a bit of commentary on things and things. We won't just read it out.
No,
But we will try and be as quick as possible so that it's not a
yeah.
4 hour escapade.
Absolutely, because the detailed reviews of the two sections we did were both about an hour long. So we don't want to make this a
Yeah.
9 hour video. So yeah, definitely not. Definitely not. Okay, so let's have a little look see at the book, shall we? We'll go right from front to back. Best way, really. No gods, no kings. So
Very nice. Very
yeah,
nice.
yeah. I mean, this is the section that myself and Scabback covered, and
Yeah.
I mean, are you horrified at the thought of Saurians not having to have generals or characters, Lucky Sixes?
No,
Or
it's interesting. It's a bit like Warriors, right? They don't have to have a BSB because they've got re-roll break tests, right? So it's and for the most part fearless, so
yeah,
they don't panic or anything. So it's a little bit like that in that they don't have to have a BSB, so they can deny it quite well. Not having it's just very interesting.
Hmm.
It's very different. It's not. I wouldn't say it's necessarily overpowered in any way, but it's a very interesting concept and a new concept. So you got to hand it to that.
Yeah, and I think of all armies, that it does kind of fit Saurians, so it doesn't feel like it's sticking out in terms of the fluff of them. So yeah,
Yeah,
not too bad, not too bad.
definitely more options because of it, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Like in terms
exactly.
of army building, even on the hobby side of things
Yeah,
as well.
I'll be interested to see how many no character lists you get out there actually.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Not just the no general part of it, but fill up 4,500 points of units. Be interesting.
yeah. That's cool that it's an option, I think. But yeah,
Yeah, definitely. Cool. So moving straight into the universal rules, of course. Chameleon, are you worried, Lucky Sixes, about units of ambushing skinks?
what's is it the difference? No,
Well,
because they couldn't ambush. Is that the
they
difference? Right?
couldn't ambush. They could scout, but
Yeah, that's fine.
now they ambush
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well. But a lot of people I know will be thinking, well, why would I ambush when my discipline is going to be 6 without minimised? They're
yeah.
going to be
Right.
running away
But
straight
also,
away.
it means you can ambush on turn 2, so you don't have to get them in position. They'll already be in position.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, and you're never going to charge, so you don't worry about them charging. So you're
No.
just going to be shooting. So pros and cons. It all suits some people's styles. Other people won't use it ever.
Yeah, and the fact that they can still scout means they're still as good as they used to be anyway. So
yeah, again, it's increased the variety of that unit
exactly.
slightly. Whether it's useful or not, it's another thing, but it is.
Indeed. So combined strength is a massive chunk of paragraphs, and I personally have no interest whatsoever in going over it again with you, Lucky Sixes, because it was in a previous video. But suffice to say, it is basically you can combine multiple units together.
Merge stuff, man.
Yeah.
And the things you can merge, baby.
I know, and
class.
the great thing is that this video is being released on release day, so people have now actually got the book. And as well as that, they could potentially have seen the full hype train by watching all the other content providers' videos. So there's nothing now that we need to not say in this video, which is great. That'll come out as we discuss the units, won't it? So
absolutely, yeah. And if you want an in-depth look at it, like we said, go check out the previous video on the front of the book. So the front of the rules, basically.
Yeah.
Which we did do before, and lots of people saw. But if you missed it, go check it out for in-depth. But basically, it means they get fighting extra rank, which is cool, and you can merge units. Class. Yeah, there's other things, but that's the hot take.
Yeah, not just Kaimans and Skinks anymore.
Yeah.
We also saw that Communal Bond has replaced Cold-Blooded, which is good and bad, but probably good overall. And free musicians is a thing. So nice. And that each of your scoring and compound units are giving out a 8-inch commanding presence bubble, which is really fluffy and really different. A lot of people are comparing it to the Vermin Swarm's Eagle standards, but it's even different to that, really. And I think it's going to really affect list building and early turn tactics as well, as you check what's in range of each other. Are you horrified by this, Lucky Sixes, or not too bad?
It's different, right? That's the main thing, is that it's not your bog standard. Arguably just as strong if you get the right setup, because you still get the minimised rolls and all that stuff. I mean, if you're within a command and presence and given you could have 8 generals effectively. Arguably it's just as strong as before, if not giving out more things. However, it's not, is it?
No.
It's I think it's a subtle way of doing what they did before, and gaining Swift Reform is a way of compromising for that, I think, because Swift Reform is very, very useful.
Yeah, of course, definitely. While not retaining much to the beat, of course, because that's not within the musician part when it's only Swift Reform, but still a minor detail, I would say.
I think don't underestimate the Swift Reform, because it will allow other things in. There'll be a tight spot you're in that some game will get you out of, but it's weaker, but arguably could be as good if you build your list around it. Which, I don't know.
No, I'm sure people will. Good stuff. Enclave Wizard. I think you were a little bit concerned by this when you first saw it, weren't you? With the channel spam.
Take channel off. That's what I think will happen in the future. But just because you get Wizard of Depth and it doesn't say, and it says a following additional rules, so it's plus stuff. I don't mind about the additional stuff. That's cool. I'm just a little bit worried that because you don't have, there could be a list out there with 9 channel.
Well,
and it's super good. It's super good. And also the fact that you're going to have loads of spells because you've got the. I think that could be super good. So I think that's a little bit too much with the channel. Otherwise, all good. But again, it's another type of list right in that I've absolutely no idea is powerful or not. But that's my worry, is the channel.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it will depend on the actual price, points-wise, of the Enclave on the unit.
Yeah.
But like you say,
which typically is a lot, right? Because of
it's at least 70. Plus 10 for a champion in some cases. It ranges from about 70 to 120, I think, from what I've seen. It's not completely cheap, but it's not uber expensive either. So we'll have to see about that. Pack Hunter is a way of getting certain units to reroll charges. They charge in 2s, which I think is lovely. It's
it's cool.
Kind of a feral jungle thing, which is nice. And Prey Scent is with Prey Scent markers, which combines with your other rules, which very much was a Ramphadon thing, alongside marking lure and predator senses, which we just scrolled down to as well.
It was always a fun thing for Ramphadons to have, right? And
Yeah.
then the fact that more things can have it, I think, is a good thing. It could be potentially pretty good actually as well.
Yeah.
Power level wise, but I quite like it. A lot of things are like the Ramphadons, and it does kind of make them less unique. In
Sure.
the fact that a lot of things have it now.
Yeah.
As we saw, but I don't mind that change at all.
No, I don't either. I think it was one of the quirky elements of the last book, and now they're giving it more prominence, which is fine by me. Absolutely. Solitary is just on the Kaiman Master model, which is basically means he can't join a unit of Kaimans, which is I'm not sure I massively like that actually, but
I don't
still.
I don't mind the rule, but then when you say that's pretty much the only one, right?
I think so. There may be one other. I can't remember what it is. We might come across it later. But,
I guess they're going to put it with some of the big ones as well.
But
not all of them though, because
no.
But interesting. It's interesting. I agree with you. I think it does detract from him quite a lot. But,
yeah. But we'll have to see if he's actually popular, even in spite of Solitary, because he. If no one takes him because of Solitary, then they might have to reconsider it. Who knows?
Yeah,
but
for sure. And that's what a lot of it is, right? So don't if you're seeing this and going, "Oh my god," like I did when I saw Channel. Oh my god, you got so much Channel. Oh my god, like, it's going to change. It's going to change drastically.
Yeah.
So
it
it's
is
just
alpha.
a first look. Yeah. So don't worry too much. If it is OP or seriously shit, then don't worry.
Yeah, exactly. And moving on to attack attributes, Lodestone is the kind of replacement of Born Predator, although it has changed entirely. +1 to hit against armor, basically.
Yeah, class.
Yeah, I mean, jury's out as to whether it's better. It's probably not better, but it is still cool and useful. So,
well, it's like the armor 3 for me. It's not after how like armor. So if someone's got 4-up armor and you've got AP2, it becomes 6-up armor. But that it's applied before the 4-up.
Of course, before the modifiers, yeah.
So a lot of things have 4-up armor.
They do, yeah.
Heavy armor, shield, innate plus light armor, things like that. So I think it's pretty good. And like most monsters have 4-up armor. There's not many
you would have thought so,
beast herds don't, but I think it's pretty good. This is my inkling for one of the biggest things that are going to be pretty useful.
Yeah, although Lodestone is only on a very few select units in the Saurian book, so it's not like Born Predator was everywhere. Lodestone is only in a very few places. I think the Tegu Warriors are being the main one, really. And then a few shooting on the magnetic short bows and stuff like that. Marking lure we've kind of mentioned a bit, and that's a way to get extra scent markers, which I think is really cool, especially as they've made scent markers from the predator senses only 1 at the start of the battle now. So I think that's a good addition that they've got the ability to add more throughout the game. And predator senses itself is the reroll to hit when you get that combination to work. So liking that a lot. And then moving into Armory. The blowpipes, they've changed ever so slightly because they've now got quick to fire, and I'm massively in favour of that. Like I said when I was with Scabvat, but they have lost the +1 against Gigantic. I think this is better, so all good.
And strength 3, right? They used to be strength 3.
Well, they changed to strength 2 quite a while ago, actually.
Did they?
Yeah, that's not just with this book. Usually you're wounding on 6s if you don't get poison anyway with blowpipes. But no, they have been strength 2 for a little while now, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
cool.
But still. And magnetic shortbow being a new weapon, the fact that it's only on 25 rank and file models does restrict it a bit, and it's only available on the skink gorillas, so not on the core skinks, which is probably for the best.
It's a very niche rule that comes with an item, I think.
Yeah.
But I quite like it. If you want, it's cool, man.
Yeah, and because it's lodestone, you're getting the +1 to hit if you're shooting against armor. So that's one of those combos where modifiers will make it good, even better against armor, because you are AP1. So
for sure.
Yeah. Poison javelins haven't changed at all, as was mentioned. I said I was going to double check that, and I have, and they definitely haven't changed. So that's nice. And then Tooth and Claw. I mean, you think this, you love this one, don't you?
I do, although I originally didn't get the concept that it was its own weapon. So it's this instead of a halberd or a great weapon thing. I quite like it though. A lot of the stuff is the stuff from before was you're all right at fighting, but your web skill is so bad, so you hit on fours
mm,
best most of the time. So this is just another way of getting that, and then lethal strike on top of that. It's
yeah.
cool, really cool.
Yeah, definitely, and it is a Kaiman only weapon, so it's
Yeah.
not too widespread either. So not
Yeah.
too much to be concerned with.
Definitely, along with the other options, it's definitely very different. And it gives you that variety, so you can go with whatever suits you the most. I think.
Yeah, great.
And what your list lacks. I think it gives you lots of options.
Definitely does. And the Hereditary spell, which is where our front of book review ended, we did talk about this one, was Enlightenment, and being a quirky double-edged sword, really, with +2 discipline, but -1 to hit. And so, myself and Scabfat discussed how, it's a hard one. You've got to use it in certain situations and weigh up why you're using it and on what. And there are ways to make the negative effect not affect you, so that the positive effect really hurts your opponent and stuff. And
yeah, definitely.
And
it's universal, so the -1 to hit and to wound is a thing, and as you said, like undead.
yeah.
But I don't know any other ones that give any other spells, not even hereditary spells that give bonus and negative.
Sure. Yeah.
Positive any of it. I'm sure I'm wrong. I'm sure there'll be one.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, interesting. I think you just have to. Initially, I didn't like it at all. I thought this because spells are good, right? And they, in ninth age, and they're not like overpowered, but they're enough to tip the balance. But if you're looking for +2 discipline, a lot of the time the -1 to hit and to wound hurt you. So in combat, I mean.
Sure.
But obviously, it's not aimed at that when you do it. So, but
No.
it is to hit universally as well as shooting and things like that as well. So I don't know. For me, the jury's out on this and whether it will actually be more useful than other items, other spells. Sorry, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean one of the tactics that I think myself and Tommy spoke about was how you can cast the +2 discipline on one of your units that isn't fighting, but is giving out a commanding presence bubble. And so then they give out their +2 discipline commanding presence, and they don't actually suffer from the -1 to hit if they're not in combat, for example. So there are still ways of getting around it. So
and it's those sorts of things that are like, again, I think a lot of this book is there's going to be subtle ways to exploit it.
Yeah.
And they're not like initially obvious, and sometimes they look worse than they are, like this. But yeah, as you say, if you've got a no character list and you've got a couple of discipline 8 stuff that you want giving out the leadership, then put it behind your units and
different role for your Tegu guards.
Yeah, man. MSU, right, as well. That might help some MSU
potentially.
Because you have to be good with it, though. Is the issue? It's not. I don't think it's forgiving if you make mistakes.
No, because 8 inches is not a huge distance on a battlefield. So
But and it's again, it's another thing, especially with all the I don't have a general, but this gives general thing, this gives you, and now because of this, I've got this. So it could be a bit of a hard one to grasp initially, but initially I thought this was trash, and you've sort of taught me around a little bit.
Yeah, I mean that's having never used it myself yet. So I could be wrong. Maybe it is trash.
We both could be. It could be the most OP spell in the game. But
yeah. Well, look forward to finding out. Definitely.
Yeah.
Cool. So that was the end of the front of book review that was done by myself and Scabfat. So we can now move into the Haldar devices. Haldar.
Yeah, man.
And this was covered. We're actually recording this on the day that Cavalier's Tale released the video about this section, and I have watched that. So good job, Wes, for the review on this section and on the magic items. and he's actually managed to do some research to find out a few bits that are not covered on paper. Now, this book that you're seeing on the screen now may have been updated with a slightly newer version at the release date to include what Wes found out in his video, and I will cover those because Lucky Sixes, you're probably in the dark about those, so I'll add those when we get to them. But effectively, the Haldar devices are the things that go on your big beasties. And if you choose one on a big beastie, if that big beastie is in a unit, i.e. your Thyroscutus herds, then all the Thyroscutus models have to choose the same Haldar. You can't have 3 Thyroscutus, each with a different Haldar, which I think is a very good way of just toning it down a bit. But not to say that isn't powerful still, if you have 3 of the same shooting weapon, for example, or whatnot.
Yeah, for sure.
So, it's still really cool. But I'm glad that they've made that restriction right from the off. Otherwise, you might see 3 different Haldars on 3 different Thyroscutus in one unit, and that would just be that would have been amazing and crazy. But anyway, let's not worry about that because that's not possible. Carved Wisdom. It's another channel. Lucky Sixes.
Another channel. Yep. No, I mean, I think without the previous thing, I think this was fine. But in addition to that, you just go, wow, crazy. Really cool how much variety you get. It's spell selection. It's not list built in, so that's really, really good. So yeah, I mean, like you just look at Molten Copper versus Swarm of Insects, for example. Just so good. It's just a really, really good set of spells. Bound spells always, but so it comes with those drawbacks. But yeah, it's just a really good set of spells.
Definitely.
And another channel and another way of not having any characters.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, effectively, you've got to remember as well that in order to use an enhancement artifact to get the channel, it's 50 points. So you're effectively only actually paying 40 points for the spell, the bound spell.
Spells, yeah.
Well, not 5. The choice of 5 spells, of course.
Yeah.
It's very good versatility. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and like you say, if you're not going against armor, then you don't choose Molten Copper. If you are going against armor, then Molten Copper's great, or etc. with all the other spells. So
it's a bound spell adept, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's cool.
Pretty much, yeah. So yeah, really nice. I like it. Not cheap, but it's nice.
No.
So moving on to
as well, it's going to be on not cheap units as well.
No,
so
yeah.
There's that thought.
Definitely. Moving into Monolith of Vitalism, I can't help but say it's auto pick in every Saurian list, but I'm the kind of defensive player who will always want my BSB reroll, and there are very limited ways of getting that in the new Saurian book. Do you agree it's auto pick or not quite so much?
I'm gonna say a lot of people will use it to start off with until they work out the best ways of getting them minimized elsewhere. I mean, I think to start off with, include it because it will make a difference.
And everyone's used to having a reroll, and it's still possible to fail. Discipline 8 minimized.
Yeah, and put it on a big dude, so it's got 18 inches, so it's better than before.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost anything for. All of them have Tower and Presence, right?
Oh yeah, everything that you can put it on. Yeah. So they'll all be 18 inches. Exactly.
As opposed to 50.
Yeah. So
yeah, I think a lot of people have it to start off with because when you learn in the army, whether it's needed in the most elite, optimized army, I'm not sure, but I think to start off with, it would be seen a lot. Yeah,
I agree. And then Venomous Fortress is kind of like a combination of a few things. It goes on your Thyroscutus to enable one of them to enter units of Skink Warriors or Skink Hunters as part of the compound units, which is cool. And it's also the combination of the old Tree Frog banner to give poisoned attacks and hatred. Well, hatred is a combination of a Skink Palanquin as well. So it's actually combining 3 different old book features into one. Which is fantastic, really. I mean, I know Swamp Swimmer, but Tommy mentioned that Swamp Swimmer will love this. Whether he'll actually have said as much, because I haven't, with this we're recording this video before having the opportunity to see any of his videos. But I think this will be popular for certain people who like to fight with their skinks.
Yeah, another variety. I think. I like whether it's 65 point, it's a lot of rules. So I guess
Mm.
it's worth it. But yeah, I like the option for sure.
Yeah, so long as you go all in with your skink warriors or skink hunters, one way or the other, it's probably worth it. But you know, at the end of the day, will your Res 2 units still stand up?
Yeah,
Sure. So Suncatcher Crystal is the first of the shooting Haldars,
yeah,
and I mean these are just fun, aren't they? Really.
yeah.
Who knows how much they're going to change over the coming months, because they do look relatively cheap.
They do, but
Yeah.
three potential. So, like, if you have a herd of other things,
Mm.
then they will have to have this, right?
Well, all the models in the herd are going to have the same one.
Yeah,
But I
like
should add,
three of
yeah,
any of them things is beastie, man.
yeah. I mean, Wes did find out that magnetic great bows will have 0 to 3 added to them,
Yes.
and Engine of the Ancients will have 0 to 1 added to it.
Yeah.
Assuming that is indeed what they're actually going to do for release date, which you'll know because you'll have the book in front of you now as
You
you're listening
will,
to
yeah,
this, which we obviously
tell
don't
us
have
if we're
yet.
right.
Yeah, exactly, and probably for the best, really, because like Wes said in his video, the idea of having a gun line of these Haldars on big monsters is very broken, no matter whether you're
Yeah.
a SA player or against it, really.
Yeah.
But individually, as in terms of the actual weapons, they're all really cool. They're all pretty low hitting values, you know,
Yeah.
and all march
And
and shoot. So
yeah, march and shoot, like accurate sort of thing, like it went just on the Suncatcher. Like that's cool. It's low range, right? Which is, I guess,
sure,
why they've got all that.
yeah,
But yeah, I can't help but like it. That focus beam to me sounds it will kill anything.
yeah. Although I only do 1 wound, so you know
Yes,
it's
very true. Yeah,
not like
it,
it's multiple wounds or anything.
yeah. I guess it's a free uh what's it called, spell from like Touch the Reaper or something like
Sure,
that.
sure, yeah, yeah, and obviously it can't be
Hasten the Hour,
dispelled.
I
So
think it is. Yeah.
yeah,
But yes, no, I like it. I think they are good. So,
yeah.
uh,
One thing I wondered about the magnetic great bow actually is it has shots too. Now I don't know if I'm having a brain melt here or anything, but normally weapons with area attack 1 times 5, they're shots 1, aren't they? So
normally,
I mean, is this like literally you're rolling 2 separate shots
uh-huh.
that both go through 2 rows effectively?
Oh yes,
Effectively, it's area attack 2 times 5, isn't it?
yeah,
Really?
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Effectively, but like both could hit. You know, both could miss.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's really, really good. Multiple wounds as well on the
On the big
initial
hit.
shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the one at the front. But
Hmm.
yeah, no, it's I mean, yeah, really decent for your big ranked stuff. And if it's going to be 0 to 3 as well,
Mm. Yeah.
yeah,
And
focus fire, man.
if you are hitting a unit with armor, which you probably are, considering your AP 3 on the big one, then you get lodestone +1 to hit on top of your 3 up hitting. So
Yeah,
you know, nice indeed.
really good, really good.
And Engine of the Ancients being just only able to take 1, I think that is because it's pretty devastating, really, especially as
Yeah,
it never suffers to hit modifiers.
two by two is
You
that's
know,
going to kill some
yeah,
cavalry
yeah.
things.
I mean, you know, I'm already fearing for your Chaos Knights
Yeah,
with that one. You know, because that's pretty nasty. Because especially with the lodestone, that'll make it 2 up to hit.
yep,
So yeah, yeah. Long live Chaos Knights.
yeah,
All right, so we won't worry about that too much. I mean, like I say, the only Haldars that can be taken in units are on Thyroscutuses. All the other Haldars are single models, i.e. your
yes.
Taurosaurs and your Titanopod. Which,
Xenopod, which we'll get onto.
yeah,
Yeah. The last one is the Lodestone Shield. We haven't talked about that.
sure, yeah.
Which is the old Engine of the Ancients
It is,
version.
except now it's not 5 pages against ranged attacks. It's now only shooting attacks.
Yeah.
So it has gone down by 70 points, though. So I think it's
Yeah.
cheap for what it now still does.
Yeah. Sure.
And it's actually 8 inches instead of 6 inches, so that's a buff as well.
Yeah.
So
It's an interesting one, and I think they kept it in so that people go, "Ah, the old one was better." You just say, "Well, take it then."
yeah. And plus people have models vehicles with
Yeah.
pterosaurs with that
Yeah.
construction on it. So yeah,
Sure.
I like it. I think I'll always include one personally. So right, shall we move on to magic items?
Yes, please.
Yeah, there's a few oldies that have returned, but some newies as well. The oldie first, I guess. Glory of the Dawn Age. I mean, this has had a few changes, not least of which it can now be taken on a halberd, which is cool, instead of just a spear.
Yep.
So
Quality.
you can take it if you're
Already get
mounted
+1
now.
strength. So,
Yeah. It's 5 points cheaper than the old version as well, which is interesting. But you gain AP, +1 AP. It used to be only +1 strength.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you put it on a halberd, you now +2 strength and +2 AP without losing your agility. So
good. So good.
nice, yeah.
I can see this whole with the old, especially with the latter thing, right? 5+ is the lethal strike and multiple wounds here. This is, I think, this mixed in with the fact you don't have to have spellcaster characters is probably one of the most auto take amazing items in the Saurian Ancient book.
Sure.
I can't see this not being taken at 80 points.
Yeah.
Will definitely go up in the next update. So take it now while it's still hot, man.
There you go. Advice from Lucky Sixes.
Yeah.
And Wes did clarify in his video that lethal strike is on a 5-up. That's not just a wording thing. If you roll a 5, it's lethal strike, so AP 10, etc.
Most characters are strength 5 fighting characters, right?
Yeah, I guess.
In the book. So you're strength 7 because you can put it on a halberd because you're not silly.
Yeah.
Then so strength 7, AP 4 anyway.
Yeah.
At least. Armor, dude, it just melts armor. And then multiple wounds too. See, like characters and cowboys.
Yeah.
It's just insane. I love this.
And lethal strike will deal with your sneaky fortitudes as well. So there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Right, alchemical arrows is your fancy one for your magnetic shortbows, which has replaced the wildfire burst, which was just on a bow before. This is 20 points cheaper than that, though, which I was surprised at when I actually looked at the old version, because it's actually gained a strength. It used to be strength 4, now it's strength 5.
Yeah.
AP 1 still, despite going up in strength, but sometimes they do weird things like that, which is fine. And the simultaneous shots with lodestone getting +1 strength, is very powerful, I think. So I think if this suits your list, you'll be taking it. Simple as that.
You can see lists being written around this for sure.
Yeah, or at least one unit being written around it, because it is only one unit that can get magnetic shortbows. So
sure,
yeah. Although I don't suppose it doesn't. Oh no, yeah, you need the lodestone to get the +1 strength, and lodestone's only on magnetic shortbows. So,
yes.
Yeah, so you can't do it alongside blowpipes or anything like that. So yeah, but I think it's pretty cool.
Definitely. Yeah,
man. Serpent's Nest Charm is a new item, and as Wes said, it will go on your skink veterans to boost up their attacks to 6, and all because the other characters other than your Anoruk Archmage all have attacks 5, so I can't see spending 35 points on one extra attack really. Even with the poison. So
I can't really see the point of putting it on paired weapons either.
No, exactly, yeah, because you don't be going to, unless you wanted to break parry, of course.
But you kind of don't with poison.
No, sure.
So,
yeah.
This is a bit meh for me.
Sure, that's fine.
There is the plus side is there's very few things in the game that increase your attacks.
Definitely. Yeah.
So there is that.
Yeah, there is. Vital Essence is kind of the replacement of Taurosaur's Vigor, except it's different in a little way. Taurosaur's Vigor used to be +1 armor and +1 health point, whereas this is health points are set to 4. So do be careful if you put in your character on a mount and then setting. Well, no, it wouldn't actually work on a mount because it's the bearer instead of the bearer's model. But anyway, so this is your on-foot Tegu veteran, really.
Yeah.
And given the Fortitude, which is a good little combination with Healing Waters, which will likely be in your list in some form.
Yeah.
Um,
I just say I understand why they write it like this, but I
Yeah.
hate that they write it like this.
I know it's a real head flipper. The +1 for what like you say to yourself, well, why don't they just make it Fortitude 5 up?
Yeah,
You
and
know,
I understand because you want to do it with magic, so you don't have to do what's it called?
Open Throne.
Oaken Throne up. But I get it,
Yeah,
but I hate that they do things.
I know. There's another spell in the game that does the for Aegis,
Yeah.
isn't there? And it's just like yuck. But yes, it makes full sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in terms of other armor enhancements, we lost serrated scales. I don't think anyone's too fussed about that. That was just 2 attacks at strength 5 or something like that. It wasn't really seen that much, and it turned into Starfall scales instead of the Starfall shard, which was your -1 to hit and Aegis save against flaming. This is different in that it takes away flaming, so I think this is weaker. Because instead of protecting you against flaming, it just removes the flaming, which probably didn't hurt you much anyway.
The armor enchantments are meh to me. I'm not really into them.
Sure, although hard target on a big monster will protect him against cannons potentially.
Yeah. So it still gives you that. So and there's more big monsters around. So
Indeed,
it's all right.
Yeah,
it's all right. I'd rather they just give it hard target, put down as 30.
Sure,
maybe 35.
Yeah. Keep it simple.
It's fine. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Banner enchantments. I mean, these are probably like going to get a lot of attention. The Koru Stone cannot be taken by core. It's pretty expensive, but you gain Rally Around the Flag, and there are not many opportunities to get that in the book. So I think
Yeah, I think you take this, especially to start off with. So.
Yeah, I mean, even more so if you don't take the Haldar, but possibly both.
Yes, both. It's a big
one on each side. Yeah.
But effectively, you're still getting the monsters and the units with them, so it's only 185 points for 2 BSBs.
Sure. Yeah.
So, oh no, it might be. It's 150. Sorry.
150. Yeah.
So actually, is that better than before having to have a character with BSB?
Well, maybe, yeah, because I mean, yeah.
You've got an 18-inch and an 8-inch.
Yeah.
On 2 separate sides of the thing. It allows you to play wider.
Mm-hmm.
Arguably, just having those 2 in as options is better.
Yeah, I would say so. Than a 12-inch character, yeah.
Huh? And you don't, you're not a BSB, so you don't lose the 200 points for victory points. So
exactly, yeah.
I can see both. Excuse me, both of these 2 being taken to start off with, because it's like almost while you're learning the army, having that as a fallback is pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. And moving into Skeptic's Steel, as Wes said, and we're not going to disagree with him, this will not be here for long. The demon players, possibly rightly so, will be a little bit aggrieved. But anything with Aegis, I mean, Phoenix Guard, hide, run and hide, Phoenix Guard.
Just insane. And as well, it's not, you see, it's only 1 use. I was like, yeah, but until you kill them all because they've got no save.
Yeah, 1 use only, but they're dead. So that's fine.
You get them into combat and you kill them because they don't have an Aegis save.
Because you don't get any model with 2 up armor and 4 up Aegis, do you?
very few. I mean, characters are crapping their pants at this as well.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
You've got Destiny's cool. Well, I've got AP3 and you've got no Aegis, so screw you. Because you've got armor 3. I hate a +1 to hit against you
as well.
I mean, 150 points would be cheap for this. It's just insane.
Oh, and you've got magic resistance, by the way.
Just add that on. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, magic resistance 1 is is it 10 points? Should it be more when it's in this form? But anyway. Yeah, enjoy it while it lasts, I think.
Yeah, again, exactly the same.
Yeah. Obelisk of Collaboration is a new one. The Bearer's unit gains Pack Hunter. I mean, Pack Hunter is new. I like it, Yep. If you're using those kind of units, then sticking this on a Raptor Rider's unit will help. Actually, sorry, you don't need it on a Raptor Rider unit. They've already got it.
It's just another way to add something to your list from your army rules. It's cool. It's not overpowered. It's just
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, and will we miss the Totem of Mixotal? Funnily enough, I'd started to use it again. The -3 offensive skill and hard target and everything. Probably not. Not if these not if these stay as they are anyway.
No.
Which they probably won't. So, you know.
Yeah.
Ancient Plaque has remained in the book, and funnily enough, it's not changed that much from the original version, except that it's double effective. Really, it is 25 points more expensive than the one before, but previously you could only do it on casting rolls. Now you can do it on dispel and casting rolls. So, love it really.
Yep.
It is expensive though, so
Yeah, yeah.
It's
good though. It's good.
Are you going to take it? If you do take it, then you've gone for it really. But will people find the points? We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I think they will.
Yeah. Veilcatch Astroglobe is another dominant thing, and that is something to be aware of. Dominant means you can't take it in conjunction with other things, but possibly not for the right reasons. It's basically the evocation attribute, really. But you're paying 80 points for it. Yeah, with no maximum, yeah. Because you can get up to 3 if you start your veil pool empty and do it 3 times, then you got full veil pool for the next one.
Why can't you get more?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it actually.
You absolutely can. If you save 3 and you cast 3 spells, you have 6 in your pool. There's absolutely no reason why you couldn't.
Sure. Oh, okay. I thought there was a maximum, but yeah.
Well, you look at like items like the Banner of Becoming, or items like that add spell, or like the DE spells.
Sure.
Like it doesn't say to a maximum of 3.
Sure. Right? No, fair enough.
And it's after you've already saved the dice.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's nothing in the book that says you can't gain things more than 3 during the magic phase because it's so niche. So there's just save 3 your first. If you have this, save 3 veil tokens at whatever cost, and then you've got veil tokens coming through the roof, which of course is really easy to do because you've got 8 channel.
Well, yeah, exactly, yeah, so definitely.
It's interesting these first 2 items because they're geared towards wizard characters, and it's whether or not you'll have the wizard characters in there in the first place to take these.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've just double checked the rulebook by the way, and the limit of veil tokens is 6 from generating during a phase, so still very respectable.
So still 6, yeah.
Exactly, like you say, if you save 3 anyway, because you've already channeled 4.
It's just really good.
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I think it's a fair price, so not too shabby at all. The Stampede Resonator Crystal, I kind of like it. I mean, you love it as well, maybe for the wrong reasons. You think it's powerful. You're basically just trading your stomp for impact hits. So.
Yeah. Initially I was like, oh, this is so epic, it's ridiculous. Then I didn't realise it was like trading in the stomp potential.
Yeah, sure.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But it you might not survive to do your stomp.
Yeah, or you might not have stomp if you're against non-infantry or whatever.
Yeah.
Because if you're charging into a monster, then you don't want stomp against that.
Exactly.
You get extra impact hits against it instead.
Is it May? Yeah, May be activated. So yeah.
Oh yeah, not even you're not even giving it to the model that you put this item on. It just has to be a model within 12 inches of the item. So really cool. And the fact it's on, you can choose large cavalry or gigantic. It does open it up to Pyroscutus or Stygiosaurs.
To happen. If it was just on its own model.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, actually, the fact that it's the start of the melee phase.
Yeah.
It's always going to happen.
Yeah, unless you've picked a list without any other large cavalry or gigantic models, and that's your own fault if you don't.
Yeah.
But yeah. Exactly. Yeah, so I love it. My problem, and I'm already going to say this, and we're only on magic items, is I can't fit everything in this list. Yeah. So far I take almost everything.
That's good. So, it's good. Yeah. It's good. That means see lots of things.
Exactly. So keeping on through the artifacts, we go to the T. Opori Smokestone.
Terrible name.
Yeah. I mean, I think you probably think it's harder to pronounce than it is, but still, it takes a little bit of effort. Again, it's one use only.
All about the names up till now. Let yourselves down.
Oh, fair enough.
Take a look at yourselves.
Oh, there you go. You've upset lucky sixes. Yeah, so I think this is powerful, especially for 25 points. Like when a friendly unit fails a break test, all your enemy become stupid at charging and pursuing. I think that's really powerful for 25 points personally. Yes, you have to judge and get your own friendly unit to fail a break test in order to trigger it. But I think if that does happen once per battle, which it probably will, because there's no range for this triggering, the model with this item could be on the other side of the battlefield to the friendly unit that fails the break test. But as long as it's the models within 18 inches of the model who's got it.
Until the next friendly movement phase, charge and pursuit rolls made by energy. Yeah, okay, so it gives you a chance to get away.
Well, providing your model with this is near to the friendly unit, that's a break test at that point. But
like you said, it's good if it comes off. This isn't certain to happen though.
Yeah, which is probably why it's starting at 25 points. To be fair,
I think so. Yeah.
The Heart of Atua, I like that. Not the Heart of Tahiti or whatever. See, I'm trying to get a Disney reference in for you.
I like it.
Good. Another 25 points.
Lucky sixes.
Very good. Compound unit, which you're always going to have on the board, and especially if you've got a model with this item on them. The range of their commanding presence is increased to 12 instead of 8.
Yeah,
love it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's going to go on your highest discipline compound unit, basically. Good stuff.
Again, it's just fitting it in with all the other stuff. But
too right. Great. Yeah. And then a nice little 10-point item. Everyone loves that 10-point item.
Yeah.
Stick on right at the end, right? Providing you've got a skink veteran, of course. Extra Praesend model. Love it.
Great.
If that's your army list, then you're going to have this in. So.
Yeah. Going back to Teopori Smokestone.
Sure.
Can you elect to break without rolling? Do you have to roll? Can you elect to? I choose to fail.
I think the only choice you have is to not use commanding presence. I.e., if you're near a general, you can choose not to use the general's discipline to encourage your unit to fail.
And the reroll. Or do you have to use the reroll?
No, you can choose to not use the rally around the flag as well.
Sure.
But I think you still have to roll. Yeah. Yeah, potentially. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Right. So let's continue into army organisation. This is fairly standard. There's nothing majorly surprising about that, except core got increased from 20 to 25%, but that's not a problem.
Standard. You don't care when you've got no characters.
No, indeed. The Honorok Archmage, I haven't done any comparison between the old Quattle and this one, because it's effectively a completely different model, really. There's so many different things, The Arcane Masteries, that they're now called, are so different to what you could previously take. The stat lines are different in most ways. They've got Grasp of the Immortal inbuilt, which is crazy good. And you probably don't care about losing channel because of all the other channels you've got elsewhere.
It's interesting. You even look at the stats, right? They're trying to keep it as cheap as possible.
Yeah, by making it terrible in every stat.
No stats. Res 4, I even think they could have gone further. But
Res
just
1,
because it's not so good, and it needs to compete with not having a mage.
Definitely.
In an army.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, it's got the worst stats in the world. I think it could even go up in points.
Sure,
It's like you said, the Grasp of the Immortal is standard. It's just
Yeah.
Why do you need to be Res 4 when you stand behind? Well, it's a stupid thing to do. Put it down to Res 3, who gets a frog. It's a squishy frog.
Yeah, because you're not even using your res for Touch of the Reaper or Haste in the Hour or anything.
Knock it off another 50 points. Whatever.
Yeah, I guess it's in case you ever decide to put your Archmage out of a unit, but good luck with that.
Yeah.
Although the Honorok Wardens is a way of doing that, according to, I can't remember who said it. It was Evershade in their battle report. Said that was a way of protecting your Archmage if you did put them out of a unit. Not that he did it, for the record. Although I'm not convinced that mount option is actually a good one, personally, especially for 60 points. We'll see the mount when we get to it later. We've lost Pyromancy as the normal magic options because you get it within one of the Arcane Masteries, which I'll scroll down to because they're probably the most talking point of this model. In Forbidden Mastery, you get Pyromancy, but you only get spells 1 to 4. I don't think that's terrible to lose Pyromancy in that form.
No.
I think you've still got enough versatility to not cry about it too much. And considering you can combine Forbidden Mastery with Conjuration Mastery, the cheapest one, which is ignoring magic resistance, which is so good for the right situation. Yeah, I don't think you're too worried, really. And then all the other masteries, because they are all masteries, you know, they're weird combinations. Like, I don't even know how to say this, Eidetic Mastery can only combine with Telepathic because you only can take 100 points worth. But they're all cool in their own way, I think. And I mean, I've got my favourites right from the off. I can't really personally see past Abjuration and Astrological as my favourites. Just to get on record and say that now. But have you had any thoughts about these, about your favourites, what you like or dislike about them? They are different to what previously was available.
Shifting Mastery, the Protean Magic thing, I think the level 1 spells are really good.
Yeah,
right?
You do like your Protean Magic with your Highborn Elves.
I would because of Master of Current Tower, right? But the level 1 spells are really good, and they got made better in the last update. So I don't see why that not having that is not a good thing. And an extra, you get shamanism as well,
and the Hereditary.
So you have alchemy, divination, druidism, evocation, shamanism, and hereditary.
Yeah, right? six spells.
You've got 6 spells
for 50 points.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, really cool.
I mean, you're only gaining 2 effectively because of Wizard Master or whatever. But 2 spells for 50 points anyway is good. And I quite like that one. It's a good variety in stuff. But yeah, all of them have their own merit.
Definitely. Yeah, I don't think there's any that you would dismiss straight away, which is good. Yeah, I like it. One thing I noticed about the upper part of this list of this model, actually, I don't know if I'm right, and I'll say it out loud and see what you think Lucky Six is. The Archmage's got Channel 1 plus Wizard Master, so technically they're Channel 2, which I know is another red flag to your channel spam.
Well, that's it. It just gives. I mean, I'm a bit worried the amount that I've just initially, after looking at the book after 5 seconds, can think to do.
Yeah.
So I'm sure a better mind with longer to look at it can exploit it more. But
or realise you don't take all the channels because you don't need to. So,
Although, as you've already said, Conjuration Mastery, I think, will be upped in points.
Sure. Although, of course, you know what I mentioned about Channel 2, you can actually give that out for the Grasp of the Immortal. So
yes, yeah. I must admit, I think Conjuration Mastery is very good. I don't like things that ignore other things that people have the option to put into their thing.
Yeah, sure.
Or everyone's points are finely balanced, and I think this is why I think it will go up because of the potential it'll have on, say, some monsters that have magic resistance, some innate rules on things, and as well the fact that you pay 40 points to get magic resistance 4 and 25 points to take it off. And I don't like that you can dupe someone like that in a game. That feels a bit gamey.
Sure. Yeah, fair enough. Cool. Anything else you want to say? I mean, do we need to mention about the name change? Quattle changing to an Aura?
I mean,
not too fussed.
Yeah, not the best, but we move on.
Sure. Fair enough. I don't mind it too much. I'm kind of a bit more open to that sort of thing. But yeah. Which I guess is funny, really, considering I am the Saurian Ancients player. But still, I don't mind it. I don't think I ever really settled with Quattle, if I'm honest.
Sure.
So there you go. We won't mention what it was previously.
We're still going to call it Froggy. Don't matter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Kaiman Master, I can't understand this unit, this character at all, really. And to give you the synopsis of it, it's gone from 190 points to 320. Right,
Mhm.
that's a whopping 130 increase. It has got one better discipline now than it used to. It's gone up from 7 to 8. It has
Didn't have
lost.
another attack or something.
Yeah, it lost Fear Strider and gained Solitary, and I've already said Solitary isn't a good thing.
Yes. Yeah.
It's got the same defensive stat line, and Born Predator has now gone, so that's weaker. But it's gained Art of War, which maybe that's good, and Art of War is good, and Weapon
War is
Master is
good.
good.
Yeah, that's good.
And it's gained +1 attack, like you say, but it's got 1 less agility. So my argument is Art of War and the slight tweaks in the stats worth that 130 point increase, especially bearing in mind it's Solitary? I'm not sure.
Yes, until you say that last bit. Solitary is the baffling one,
Yeah.
considering as well, and this is 50 by 50 model.
Hmm.
Considering as well that you have two units of Caimans,
Yeah,
one
yeah,
of which this could go in.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Solitary. Is there any other instances of Solitary?
I don't think so. No, I could be wrong.
It
We'll find it
seems
later if it is. But
ridiculous to only have one unit of it, considering the rule is in the top
yeah,
section. So, firstly, why isn't it part of this one then?
yeah,
We'll see
yeah,
if there is. But and secondly, I don't see why isn't an option.
yeah, yeah,
Almost have it in there and then a lower cost, and then remove Solitary for an additional 100.
yeah, exactly.
I must admit though, without that, I think all the options, Art of War and the +1 attack as standard, is better. I like this model better than the old one, apart from Solitary.
Sure, sure. I've just double checked, and Solitary is actually on a. Oh god, I can't say this word. Poaki Sky Tyrant. Poakai Sky Tyrant.
Is that the only other one?
Yeah, that's the only model that I can see.
I'll let you off on that, but it seems it seems silly that that's not an option.
Yeah.
To me, but
that's fine. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Considering you're going to spend all 100 of your special items allowance on defensive capability because you're starting on a 3-up armor, which isn't great.
It can only have 100 as well. That's the thing as well.
So I think you're going to spend at least half your special item allowance on defensive capabilities, or even all of it on Death Cheater. You know, but yeah.
So it's got 3-up armor. It's a mini monster, right?
Yeah, just the mini part is troubling for me.
It's still res 5 with a 3-up armor.
Yeah, I just think in a book of dinosaurs, it's the poor cousin, you know.
Yeah, and as you say, Death Cheater is definitely the one here because
I think so. Yeah,
you make it 2-up, 4-up Fortitude, but and then it just goes off on its attacks and things, and that's 2-up, 4-up monster with 5, potentially 6 attacks if you go Tooth and Claw.
Yeah.
Isn't bad at all.
No, definitely not. But is it 420 points? Yeah.
I mean, there's monsters with less defense than that don't have 6 attacks.
No, absolutely right. Yeah. No,
doesn't have Stomp, obviously. I understand that. And it isn't a monster, as you say. But single model stuff, MSU, it can still work. I just don't see why it's not an option. It's annoying that it's not an option. Solitary bit.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I've got no problem. I genuinely have no problem with it. I think it's pretty worth its cost, apart from Solitary.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Tegu, or are we saying Tegu veteran, or what are you saying?
I'm a Tegu.
Tegu, fair enough.
Are you Tifa or
Tifa or Tifa? Yeah.
I'm a Tegu.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I think I was Tegu. I think I have been, but yeah.
Yeah, probably is.
Who knows? I think actually Evershade are getting one of the lab designers on their channel, if not already. So also hope maybe that's a question to put in the comments of that video somewhere.
Yeah.
This is a combination of your previous 2 infantry characters. You used to have the old Lord and Hero versions. Now they're combined into one, into a veteran, with a combination of stats really. For the most part, you've got the smaller one. You got defensive and offensive 5. They were both res 5 and strength 5 anyway. They've both lost the option. Well, I say both. This has no option for heavy armor, which is a bit of a disappointment. So you're starting at 4 up armor, and it's unless you're going into special, it's not as easy to get higher armor. Obviously, you can get shield and a raptor, but the raptor's only +1 armor now instead of +2. So that 1 up armor is a little bit harder to get to. On these guys, which I think is a kind of like, we're not just letting you build cowboys thing.
Yep. Which is right, because you don't have to have a magic caster. Like from what I can see, you can build a viable list without a magic caster, which means your characters can go just on killing, very viably. So if you could have 5 of these,
sure, yeah.
Like, I mean, 180 is not a bad start either.
No.
For cost. So say 380 with 200 points of special items. Say 400 in total because you've got other stuff. So you can have 4 without like fully tooled up guys.
Yeah, right. And this is kind of my issue with the Kaiman Master, right? Because I'm going to scroll up for a second. This guy, Tegu Veteran, res 5, strength 5, attacks 5. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Same as the Kaiman Master.
So
why is he 140?
+1 health. I mean, +1 health is pretty good.
Well, he's only got +1 armor until you give the Tegu Veteran a shield.
Yeah, true.
But yeah.
But then he can't have... Yeah, I know.
So...
movement is a thing there.
True. But anyway, I won't go back to Kaiman Master. I didn't really mean to.
Yes, yeah.
But still.
I think you're right, though. I think the cost seems pretty nice for a Tegu Veteran.
I think so.
Whereas fairly high for a Kaiman Master. So I do agree there.
Sure.
Yeah.
And the Alpha Carnosaur is 20 points cheaper as well as a mount option than it used to be. And the Alpha Carnosaur hasn't really changed much. So that's one to bear in mind. Maybe it's time for Hyper G to get on the Alpha Carnosaur train. Who knows?
It is definitely time.
I think
Come
so.
on, mate.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. All right, cool. Anything else you want to say about Tegu Veteran?
Nope.
All right, beautiful. We'll move into the next one, Skink Veteran.
Skink Poo. 2 HP still.
Yeah, I know. It's upsetting, isn't it?
What's that, goblins? More? Okay.
Yeah, all right. You finished?
Yes, I am. Yeah, sorry.
Good. This one's is a really utility character. He can do a lot. He's got a lot of mount options, although he has lost the Alpha Ramphodon, which I'm gutted by because I thought I was going to start a trend with that. I was playing 2 single Alpha Ramphodon Skink characters, and now they've taken the option away. I don't know whether they're doing that just to spite me or
they saw you, mate. Saw you come in.
Clearly. Although the Poakai Sky Tyrant has been added, which is not a Ramphodon, let's be sure of that. But it is that other solitary thing that I spoke about. And we'll get to that in the mount section. Master Strategist is interesting because it adds to the Skink Death Star option, potentially. Well, no, sorry. Yeah, no, it is on Skink Warriors, isn't it? Yeah. So if you want to vanguard your very squishy unit forward, then run them away very quickly. You can. I
quite like characters, and I know all armies can't have it, so I guess some people would say it's unfair, but I quite like characters that allow different list building capabilities. And I know this counts towards core, but this is the next best thing, I think, given something.
Sure. Yeah,
the synergies and things.
Yeah, and you've got all the skinky whistles and bells. Your magnetic short bows there, your blowpipe and javelin. Plus you've got your fighting weapons, and then you've got the chameleon rule, which is nice on a character. It means they can go with the skink gorillas, which is
that's cool.
So potentially you can get actually discipline 7 on your skink gorillas when they ambush. So there is that.
And what's he under 75 points as well? It's not bad.
Yeah, cheap, really cheap. I think it's really cool, actually. Don't know how many people will take them. I think it will depend if you're playing a skinky list. But yeah,
for sure. It's going to be, if you're used to skinks, take one of these. I think, for sure.
Yeah. Right, we'll move into mounts, the mount section. I don't imagine we'll be talking about these for very long at all, really. We'll rattle through these.
Yep.
The Honoric Wardens is for your Honoric Archmage, and instead of giving Fortitude 5 up, they get Aegis 5 up against magical attacks, which it's probably not that effective, really. You might end up always just using your Fortitude anyway.
Yeah, Armor 3, so
yeah.
it gives you extra stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, it gives you an extra HP and a few attacks if you do get attacked. And a bigger base size. Not to say that you can't still go in a unit with this mount, but
50 by 75 is a bit annoying.
Yeah, yeah.
50, keep this one to 50 by 50. I don't see why you have to be. But yeah, anyway, there's probably a reason. But
yeah, I can't see
I
many
don't care
people.
For it.
I can't see many people remolding their models to get it on a bigger base. Personally, just for this. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yep,
it's there. The Saurian Raptor has undergone a few changes. Notably, it is now Agility 4, which is one of the highest in the book. It's doubled since Agility 2, which is weird. But it's very much still the same movement, only +1 armor instead of +2, and gained an extra AP. So,
Yeah, and Pack Hunter rerolling charges. Nice.
Yeah, exactly. Providing it's a combined charge. So yeah, it's all right. Your Cowboy is still there, just not quite as easy to get that one up, I would say.
Yeah.
So Mountain Pterodon. I mean, this is probably your way of doing the old Alpha Ramphrodon, but now you've got to do it on a Pterodon, I guess.
Yeah.
All Pterodons have lost a movement pip, though. They're not 918 anymore. They're 816, which is the same as Ramphrodons. So I think that was kind of why you took Pterodons, because they were quicker. And now they're the same. So it'll be interesting to see if Ramphrodons get more love for that reason in the normal army. And also Ramphrodons have lost an armor in comparison to the Pterodons that are the same armor as them now. So it'll be really interesting to see which one gets the love, or both. But obviously you can't have too many of both if you do include both. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yep.
And you still get your sweeping attack, which is cool. So yeah, apart from the loss of the movement, they haven't really changed too much, I don't think.
Nope.
And I think you'll still find them as a good utility option. One that I've never tried. So there you go. Cool. And then this is a new one, the Poakai Sky Tyrant. Again, you got fly at 816, but this high altitude thing. I mean, are we all just thinking of the Final Fantasy IX character here? I can't remember what was her name. I can't remember. Freya, that's the one. Yeah. You just jump up and off you go for a little while until you want to jump on again. I mean, God help you if you don't actually come back, because you will lose the points.
Imagine the noobs that do this turn 6.
Oh, yeah.
Where's my Pooey Sky Tyrant? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, read the rule. What does it say if they don't come back? Oh, yeah, they're dead. Sorry about that.
Rubbish.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Interestingly, this one has got Predator senses, so, it is like a Ramphrodon in that it can reroll its hits and stuff like that.
Solitary, though.
Yes, solitary, there you go. And it can't join units or anything like that, so it's just weird. I'd love to see it in action. I don't think it's going to be first on people's lists to try. I could be wrong. But solid stat line, only res 4, but 4 attacks at strength 5 AP2 with high agility.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, like what you can make of it. 50 by 75 is annoying again, but
sure, yeah. But then this isn't an old book model.
No, it's not.
So it's completely new entry.
It's a new thing, yeah.
Yeah. Right. Not a new thing, however, is of course the Taurosaur. And I mean, this boy is a mainstay of Saurians, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, what do you think? It is a little bit cheaper than they used to be because they've lost their maximized stomps. Sorry, maximized impact hits. But they have changed to 3D3, a more reliable impact hits. So
3 to 9, pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, 3 to 9 instead of 2 to 7 reroll.
I like it's pretty simple. There's no like tens of rules. You can have the Haldar device to make it a bit more complicated. It's fine. I like it. I like it a lot.
Has lost devastating charge as well, +1 attack. So slightly less attacks, but maybe they're included within the impact hits. So can't moan too much. I think it's all good, really.
Agreed.
Yeah. Interesting that they've kept the march rate as not double the advance rate as well. That's one that catches people out occasionally.
Yeah.
Do be careful if you're playing against that, because the Torosov can't march double its advance. An honest Saurian general will do that correctly, but it's an easy one to miss.
They're all LMCs, mate.
Right. We have got another mount. So you got the Alpha Carnosaur. Great. This guy hasn't really changed much. He's got cheaper, but he's still your Strength 7 AP4 monster.
Yeah. Multiple
wounds 2
Sick.
instead of D3. So I don't think that's a problem. I think that's just more reliable.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to be bothered about that. I think that's good. Predator Senses is on there, so you are now re-rolling to hit if you go against the Brayson. That's amazing, quite frankly.
He is coming out, mate. If you should be able to fit an Alpha Carnosaur now in your list with all the character changes. So yeah, I think he is. Get used to him, folks. I think you're going to see a lot of him.
Yeah, agreed. Right, let's move into core, and myself and Tommy T have done a video on this. So insert card now for you to click on.
Go check it out if you haven't already for more in depth.
So we're going to really skim through this one, I think. Probably blitz it, really. In the video with Tommy T, I did give thumbs up or thumbs down to Tommy. I don't think you would have had a chance to see what Tommy said. So should we start with Tegu Warriors then, or Tegu Warriors? You say thumbs up or thumbs down?
Thumbs up, because Awakening Beast is a very good one, and all the stuff. I like it as your core unit. Great.
Yeah, I think so. And I don't think we need to talk about it anymore, because we have already covered it in a very in-depth video.
You can have stuff in it for people who haven't seen the video. You can put your other models that we're going to go into later in it.
This could be your Thyroscutus.
Ridiculous amount of variety in these Tegu Warriors. With the fact that you can have your Enclave, which is only 70 points, or 80, I guess, if you can include champion. But I think it's great.
Yeah, actually, before we move on too much, I should mention that the glaringly thing we have missed to say about the character section is that Skink Priest is gone, because they're now in the Enclave Wizard. I was a bit upset by the loss of the Skink Priest, because I have got like 4 or 5 models of them. But now I've just got to rebuild them into Enclave Wizard models.
I genuinely think they just think they're redundant. Like the amount of stuff you can get elsewhere.
Yeah.
Like why would you take them? Like they compete with core units now. Why would you take them? So I think they've recognised that and gone, okay, well, you can still use them.
Yeah.
But
put them on a bigger base. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that was a minor tangent there. I just thought I'd better mention it.
I mean, as you see with any of the Enclave stuff here, being an adept with whatever spell that they can have is just sick. It's so good.
Yeah, definitely. Skink Warriors, you likey or you not likey?
They are for the people in Orcs and Goblins that like goblins. That's all it is. I think it's all right. Healing Waters is all right. I think they're all right. Probably if I had to get off the fence that I'm so duly sitting on, I'd go thumbs down.
Sure.
But they will suit some tastes, and it's just not mine.
No, that's fair enough. Yeah. I mean, I did mention back in the Tommy T video about my Skink Death Star in the Wooden Spoon tournament, but I don't think it'll be high on my list of choices to go with, but I have certainly thought about picking a list with it in. So
it definitely fills a gap, and I can't say it does much more than that.
No. Skink Hunters, though, being light troops and able to get weapon beasts in them is kind of cool. Salamanders and Spearback going alongside these, not along with potentially other models as well. I think these are real utility core options, really.
Agreed.
I haven't got clarification yet about the symbol that's showing next to them. Do they also count towards your Gorilla category? I'm pretty sure they will. I'm pretty sure they will.
They definitely will.
Yeah. So there is that. But yeah, I like this unit. Will you see Enclave Wizard on them? Maybe, but then you're kind of restricting their offensive capability.
Again, the
So
fact that Healing Waters, it's not like they don't have to do it on themselves.
no,
It's good.
yeah,
You know, so
exactly.
potentially.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, moving into Kaiman Warriors. I mean, yeah, this is the mainstay. The fact that you can only get
So
eight
subtly
models of them.
done as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, by the way, we've got Clone Wars in core.
Yeah,
That's
but only
awesome.
8 of them though in the whole army. So you're not going to have your whole core Kaimans.
No,
There is
true.
that.
Yeah, but that's because why wouldn't you just pick Clone Warriors?
Exactly. Yeah, like Tommy said, it's to prevent you from having an ogre Saurian army, really.
Yeah,
Because you would, like you say. Awaken the Beast on these guys as well. They can go
Great.
in a unit of skinks or not. It's up to you.
Yeah.
And yeah, Tooth and Claw, brilliant, love it all round. I don't suppose there's any point in me asking. It's a thumbs up from you.
Oh, 2 thumbs up, mate.
Brilliant.
Best core unit you got.
Nice.
Scoring as well.
Yeah,
Best
absolutely.
score unit you got.
Yeah,
by a long way.
Sure. Cool. So that was core, and like I say, we've already covered that in detail, so we don't need to dwell on it anymore.
Yeah. I mean, we won't go into the others too much detail because there are like in-depth videos around the interweb.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you do want to check out our one, we'll put a handy little link in. Probably earlier, actually. So
Yeah, very much. Yeah, yeah.
In the video, but yeah, go and check it out.
Yeah, this is definitely an over the whole book review as opposed to in detail, which all the other guys have done. So, but Tegu guards or whatever you want to call it. They used to be temple guards. I had a lot of opinions about the old model, and I have told you many times how positive I'm going to be about these guys. I don't know. My jury is out on this one. So, I don't know what to make of them.
Probably, I mean, they're very much twinned with Tegu guards and Tegu mystics.
Yes,
right? There's two unit types
now, but not fully.
Yeah, which we'll come on to. And essentially, they've got slightly different stats, and they do slightly different things. And it's I think it's very much, well, probably more than slightly. I'm doing a disservice there.
Yeah.
But it's like the ID is my best metaphor for it, or whatever it's called.
Sure.
Like having the Immortals versus the Disciples of Luga.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Both
so rock hard, kind of.
Yeah.
But
in their own way, right? So they're trying to go extreme in and a bit like when you had the Knights in all the KOE where they did their own different thing, a bit more extreme, but they were essentially just Knights, So you've got the Tegu guards and the Tegu mystics, which both can have the big monster things in, as far as I can tell.
Yeah. Actually, I'm not sure. Tegu Mystics, I don't think have got any compound unit listed actually.
Okay.
Because it always gets listed in the guest model. I don't think anything lists Tegu Mystics as a unit they can go in.
So that's the difference between them and the Warriors then.
Yeah, I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure there isn't anything that lists Tegu Mystics as an option.
Okay, sure.
Possibly because of the light troops factor. It messes about with light troops.
Sure.
Because once you put a big monster in the light troops, like if you do it with Skink Hunters, then Skink Hunters are no longer light troops. So I think that possibly mucks up with the Mystics a bit too much. But I don't think that's terrible because I'm not sure you really would want monster in a Mystics unit, really.
Imagine,
I'll scroll down briefly so you can have a look at Mystics while we're talking, because we are talking about these kind of as a pair. I thought with the Mystics they kind of do a bit of everything because they're not terrible fighters. They've got hard target for some odd reason. They can cast spells. They +1 to wound against standard height models. They've got Swift Stride. I mean, it's a bit of everything, really.
Agreed.
I don't really get it, but I'm not complaining. And
I like them over the Tegu guards. I don't. For me, I'm just trying to think.
I mean, containment field. Do we like containment field? I'm not sure if it's good enough.
I just want to if they're special. Nah, there's meh. I don't see there's too much difference between these and your core chaps.
Yeah. I mean, you can halberd or great weapon as an option. But your agility problem hasn't really been fixed. Giving it great weapon, still stop them dying in droves.
Still three pound is decent on a res 4. Measure resistance 1, standards, all right, yeah. Like, they're okay. I just think,
They are
like,
cheaper than they used to be, though. So there is that
yeah,
going for them.
yeah. I don't think they give you too much more than the Warriors do in core though, and the Mystics are just much more fun.
Yeah,
So
or this is a way of getting Discipline 8 into your actual
yes,
non-character models. The only way, I think, actually. So, bear that in
yeah.
mind for
So
your commanding presence bubbles.
again, they are the boring ones, I think, of the two
Sure,
choices.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bodyguard and things. They're the defensive.
Mm.
Whereas the Taker Mystics, to me, are just much more fun. So I'd go them over.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Yeah, great. Cool. So,
I guess as well with the Mystics, the reason their enclave is 120 is because they can choose 2 spells as opposed to 1
yes. Yeah, I would say so.
as well. So that's pretty cool.
On top of the fact that they've got light room, so they're harder to pin down.
Yeah. I mean,
So.
yeah, like I mean, you're gonna have. I don't see why you wouldn't have the enclaves so far. So you'd have 2 units of enclaves and core, 2 units of well, at least 1 here. So
Yeah, sure.
already channel 3 without your character, and you've got 4 spells. So.
Yeah, and not even to mention that on those Ticket Mystics is Break the Spirit, which is a very, very, very good spell to have in your
Yeah, well,
ultimates.
like
So,
yeah, no, really good, really good.
yeah, definitely. Cool. So moving into more special, just a reminder, like we've said, we're not talking about these in great detail because of other people covering them, and we don't want to be here all night either. Raptor Pack we spoke, me and Tommy spoke about in the core because we cheekily added it into core because we have 8 or more models.
Yeah.
But we should mention that Ambush is an option for them. Again, you're dealing with low discipline though, so is it a good idea? Maybe, maybe not.
Sure.
And the Corrosive Spitter is a kind of cool one if you want to jump up and get something with armor because you're AP3.
Yeah. So, AP3 Elf Killer. I think.
Yeah.
That's from 2. But no, it's I did say these compete for me for the best core along with Kaiman's.
Sure. So that if they are in core, they won't have the Corrosive Spitter or Ambush, obviously.
Yes, but
you can't put them in core with it. But
you can have bigger things with them, as we all see.
Yes, indeed, and it's not a spoiler anymore because people would have seen the other reviews.
Yeah.
So
and still have them come from core. So
yeah.
I think there's going to be a certain combo that we see quite a lot.
Yeah.
Them coming from core being a pretty big unit in terms of moving around as well.
Yeah.
It says 8 here. I'm not sure you would have just 8. I think you might have a few more, but I guess if you've got other things in them, you might.
Your
base, not too.
Yeah, your unit size might be quite big. Anyway.
I really like these, and having them as a separate thing with no riders, great.
Yeah, definitely is. Yeah, and of course, if they are joined by the model, which Lucky is alluding to, we all know it's the Carnosaur.
Yes.
Then they become a compound unit, giving out a commanding presence buff as well. So there is that. So
they're not scoring is the main thing. But...
but being compound still gives out the bubble. So which is nice. Cool. Raptor Riders, which I don't know whether these guys in yet lost as the unloved Raptors. I don't think they will because I think these still have a purpose. Not least to mention scoring, which isn't hugely prevalent in the book. But Pack Hunter is cool.
I don't like their minimum is 8.
No,
that doesn't sit well with me.
No, not with me either. Even though I own 8, so you would think it would suit very well with me. But I'm not sure about the 0 to 2 units per army either, because I was fielding 3 in my army. 3 units of 5. So I've been completely screwed over yet again. Thank you, guys. But it's an odd one. You don't get any other cavalry with minimum 8, really, do you?
So. What's the communal... Oh, no, so they can't have something in them, can they?
Yeah, they can. They can have Carnosaur as well.
Okay. So maybe there's that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's probably there's some combo where you don't want 5 of them and a Carnosaur.
Yeah, it would be a bit of a weird.
Maybe, I don't know. So maybe there's something to do with that. But yeah, just as an aside, 8 as a minimum doesn't seem right to me. But otherwise, they're pretty standard, and you can have the Carnosaur in them. So happy days.
Yeah. And you've got the Tegu
Does
rider instead of the Temple Guard rider, so he is slightly less
yeah,
offensive skill, and you've lost
sure.
the lance, and you only get light lance now. So the
Yes.
halberd is
So
now an option. So swings and
yeah, so strength
roundabouts, really.
5, like, but the amount of shamanism and magic and stuff, strength you can quite
Oh,
easily buff.
easy.
The Carnosaur, if it was in the unit, does it get the banner enchantment?
No. Oh, I don't know, because the Carnosaur would still be a rank and file model, wouldn't it?
So say I don't know whether it would even that +1 strength, +1 speed. I guess would go
Yeah,
on
it'd be
to
the
it.
whole unit. Yeah, that would be on the whole
So
unit.
but like Rending, for example, not that it needs it, but
Well, Rending Banner is rank and file models, isn't it? So I guess it would count for both. Yeah.
yeah. So that's I'm sure there'll be a few combos that I'm not seeing now that could affect the Carnosaur quite nicely as well.
Sure. Yeah. No, I would agree with that. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, solid.
Hmm. Yeah. Lovely. So moving on to Kaiman Elders. Now, this is one that
Yeah,
I haven't managed to discuss on a review at all, but have alluded to in a number of places. Um, I mean, let's get over this straight away. 50 by 50 mil is a bit annoying
yeah. It's I
because,
mean it is
it's a
a
new model in the army,
yeah
technically, because of the base size, which they've done again.
technically yeah
And we've had gripes with that in the past. But maybe this one's forgiven because you've still got your core 40 mil ones.
yeah.
Um,
The annoying
but
thing is you can't put your guy in there
Kaiman Master, yeah,
or your two guys in there, for example.
yeah, it's sort of solitary again. But
Just a
we've
bit
moaned about
rubbish.
solitary a couple of times now, haven't
Yeah.
we?
Scoring is cool. Like you're definitely using great weapon. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Agility 1. Anyway, I guess some people aren't, and they're gonna go. Oh, actually, this is good. Just good. Well, yeah.
Yeah,
7 AP4 on so many attacks. I mean, come on, guys.
yeah.
Interesting. Summer growth is a very nice one with them,
Yeah,
and so is
yeah, gain
Summer's
wounds
Fury
back.
to get
Yeah,
uh,
battle focus.
that focus. So that's cool. Um, Yeah, I
Well,
like that you have different spells, but again, to me, because you've got a different set of spells here with
yeah, why have your character?
a
Yeah,
90, why I don't see why you would have characters
sure.
at all. But yeah,
One thing to note
I like this unit.
with the Enclave Wizard, which I've only really just figured out, is that the Enclave Wizard is set to only 3 HP, and these guys start with 4. So if your champion got 1 less HP than your normal models, that one might need a bit of a thought, or maybe they did that
Oh,
intentionally.
does it
I'm
say
not
that?
quite
It says
sure.
set
I'll scroll back up because it's worth. It's worth.
up to
Yeah,
a max
I'm pretty
plus 1
sure.
HP up to a maximum of 3.
Oh, okay. No, not set to 4. Set to 3.
Yeah,
I'm
so
wrong then. That's
it
fine.
can't. Yeah, that's a weird one though.
But
I
yeah,
guess.
that's fine. That's fine. That's good that that's clarified that way around. Sorry for the epilepsy warning of jumping from the
Yeah,
book there,
yeah. Okay.
but still, that's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like it. They can have the banner as well as the spells. I think it's solid. What's it? 180, 270, so 545. Yeah, it's going to be an expensive unit for a full one. So
oh
you're
yeah,
looking like
yeah,
700 points maybe.
yeah. And of course, if you don't
Uh,
want to make it an expensive standalone unit, then stick it in Tegu Warriors or Tegu Guards for 3
yeah,
models of them, which is a beastly infantry block,
yeah, it
really.
is.
You
Yeah,
know, I mean,
yeah,
that's pretty scary. 3 of these inside a unit of Tegu Guards
yeah.
or Tegu Warriors. Yeah, scary as.
And again, having the spells, like one of them could be a champion with
Mm.
Enclave. In fact, that has to
Well,
be if it's a champion.
yeah, although they can't be a compound unit if they've got those upgrades. So,
Sure, right,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But, well, they
But
can
yeah,
be,
no,
but you lose them. So,
I like it. I like this unit
I do.
as an aside. It's a shame you can't get characters in there, but yeah, I like it.
Yeah, well, there's nothing stopping you from having characters on the side, I guess, but just not the primary.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
yeah.
no one really wants to do that. So, although you just put your character in the unit
In the
where your
Tegu,
elders go in. Yeah, so there's ways, but yeah.
yeah,
Right, Thyroscutus Herd. I mean, welcome back, Thyroscutus. Not that anyone ever took it in the first place. But yeah, I think finally we've got a role for these boys, haven't we? As the Haldar characters,
yes,
carriers, basically. If you are taking more than one, you've always got to have the same Haldar in every one, which can very quickly get expensive if you are paying for 3 Haldars. Um, but yeah, I think they're potentially back in the game. in my
So a
opinion.
unit of it's 1 to 3 and it's 0 to 4. So do they envisage you using 2 lots of 2 quite a bit?
Maybe, although only one Thyroscutus can go into a unit.
Right.
So you're either doing more than one standing on its own, well, one or more standing on its own, or one going into a unit with a Haldar, I
Okay.
guess. There's so many options, honestly. There's too many options to think about with all the different
Yeah, yeah.
Haldars as well.
But yeah, like having your units gain parry, very good,
Yeah, great
and
protector.
not
Really
stopped.
nice.
I can see that being. I mean,
Mm.
it's 0 to 1 anyway, but yeah, I can see that being pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. And of course, there is the Haldar option that means this guy can go in a skink unit and give them poisoned attacks as well. So
Yes.
there's that.
So
So the utility is amazing, or
ultra
versatility
support
maybe.
unit. Yeah. Not too expensive either. I guess with
No,
the Howder. So you're looking at 300 points because you can
yeah.
have either Great Protector or Howder. So
Hmm.
not too bad. Not great, but not too bad. And a crush attack that could work every
Well, yeah.
12 battles.
The thing is, you got 2 up armor and parry, so you're not
Yeah.
going to hit it on better than 4s unless you're sneaky elves. And so, yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
I think it's back in the game. Let's say that
Yeah.
much.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
but again, it's finding the points for it when you've got so many other cool options. So, we'll have to see, won't we? Okay, moving on to Ramphadon Riders, and what are these boys doing in special? They used to be in Gorilla, or Jungle Warriors, or whatever it was,
Yeah.
and
And they
now
don't
they're in
count for that now.
special,
So
so they don't count for
yeah.
that. So, you know, however,
They don't
there's
have a shooting thing though, do they?
no, they don't even have poison javelins anymore, whereas they used to,
Yeah.
which is fine because it was always a bonus one. Although my last outing with throwing poison javelins did quite a number on your elves,
Yeah.
actually, didn't
Yeah.
it?
It did.
But
Yeah.
yeah, we won't worry about that. Won't remind you about that. Yeah, I'm fearful for Rumpedons, and I should say right from the off that in our original front of book review, I said that the plus D3 attacks on Rumpedons was gone. I was wrong when I said that, so apologies if you got worried about Rumpedons, because they have still got plus D3 attacks when against a prey scent, so that's cool. That's still there. I don't really know why I said that in the original review. But I am very worried for Ramphadons because they've lost an armor. They're only 4 up armor now instead of 3
Yeah.
up. And I
Still
think,
2 HP as well, which I
yeah,
guess.
I just think they're too squishy. Too
Yeah.
squishy. 3 up
Yeah,
armor, they were
they
passable.
have,
So,
in terms of gain, they have gained an attack, and
yep.
so they can maximum with a prey scent is 6 attacks, which is pretty good.
Oh, yeah,
When you've
it
got
is.
battle focus, so like on an offensive thing, they're just as good, if not better now.
Yeah, yeah,
But it's how much that one armor does actually matter, right?
yeah.
And I guess they've taken it off as the compromise so that they're not a 300 plus points units to
Sure.
start with.
Yeah.
So we'll see how much that does change things. But I mean, yeah, they do a number. If you can protect them and get them in, then great.
Yeah, exactly. And if you are putting a lot of marking lures around for them to target different units, because you can now add mark present to different models, then maybe you've got more options of who you're charging with them, which is nice. Even though
Yeah.
you're only starting with one preset model, one preset token. So yeah, they might still be okay, but you've got to
And
use them
if you have them,
carefully.
you have all the extra present stuff, right? To make
Definitely.
them.
Yeah, exactly. To give an extra one with your skink veteran, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Moving into Saurian Swarms, and I think this is another one that is potentially back in the game. They previously had Fearless, which meant they couldn't flee, and I think that really didn't suit the old Saurian book. Now they can flee, and oh man, this unit is going to spend the whole game fleeing. But it doesn't matter because it does its job even if it does flee with that venomous tide. So yeah,
so good.
and
So good.
combined strength with skink warriors and skink hunters.
See you later, vermins.
Yeah, I mean exactly.
It's just huge. That's just huge.
Yeah. The stat line is obviously nothing to write home about, but who cares, right? And
5 HP with Fortitude 6, so effectively 6 HP.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't care. Poison, 5 attacks with poison is good. You'll be surprised how much that
exactly
good with offensive 2.
Effectively, it's 10 attacks because it's 2 bases. So yeah.
Yeah. Can you get access to rerolls to hit? Yeah,
Um,
Evo. Yeah,
oh yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely,
So I
yeah.
mean, genuinely, a
Mm.
unit with this, because I got done to the UD version of
Yes, you
it.
did, yeah, on the carrions or whatever they were. Yeah,
Yeah, could be pretty good. You know,
mm.
you have four of them, 20 attacks reroll into hit on poison.
Yeah,
Not bad. Yeah, AP1 as well.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. That's sneaky, isn't it?
I don't know what. Yeah, that AP1 coming in is a bit naughty.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, I like it. There's combined options as well, and the DTs just smack to me of screw you vermins.
yeah, yeah. Well, to be honest, even on cavalry, that's going to hurt because
Yes,
the
it is.
dangerous terrain really bypasses armor, doesn't it? So
Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, think twice before charging this chap. Um, yeah, nice. I like it. And yeah, losing fearless is massive for their overall
Yeah,
effectiveness.
you've got
So
the option. Yeah,
yeah. Right, into guerrilla warriors. I like this for a name of a category, honestly. They've kind of dropped the whole jungle, if I'm honest, kind of,
yeah,
because you've lost your Strider jungle on your Strider forest on your flying troops, and you've lost Strider water all over the book. So they kind of come out of the jungle really, and we're now
they have.
just
Yeah,
dinosaurs, doesn't matter where they are, which is really cool. Um, and skink gorillas, they've just basically lumped all the special skinks into one unit, which I think is about time, really. Um, and the fact that you've got your short bows in there means that people who've got models with bows aren't going to worry because they're viable and takeable, which is great. Marking lure is there. They're one
yeah.
of your ways of getting the prey sent out, which is fantastic. Chameleon is still there, which people love. Um, I think you're going to see these units
Naught,
most armies really.
naught to 4 units per army as well. By the
Wow.
way,
Yeah. By the way, slip
I
that little one in
think,
there.
yeah, right. That's I I think that's going to be abused.
Yeah.
This will not be fun to play if you're a monster army.
Yeah.
Like someone pulls
540
out,
points for 20 of
well,
them.
because there's not a max. You could have 15. You could
Yeah.
have 60 models.
Yeah. Yeah.
That seems a
60.
bit.
That's 120 poison shots a turn
I mean, it's a lot of
on
points, right? But
blowpipes. Yeah.
I mean, come on. I don't know what the actual 30%. So what can you have? 4,000,
I'm sure.
12, 1350. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's going to be close to be able to do it. But I think you can. Like, you get a lot of.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I think that one might be changed, but otherwise they do. They don't play differently.
It seems a bit odd having a 0 to 4 because most of the
Yeah,
entries are
you
0
can
to
tell.
2. So
You can tell Colin Power had a big.
he called you out there.
He's told someone, and
He
he
wants
naught
his
to
skink
four.
cloud. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I think that might change because that seems crazy. Or there might be a max on models
Sure.
because other things do in the book, and that doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah, the magnetic shortbow has a 0 to 25, but I don't think you're necessarily taking 4 units of that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a synergy with the magnetic short bow
definitely.
with
Yeah.
the matching items and stuff like that. But yeah, no, that the only thing that worries me is the 0 to 4. I think that might
I
not be
hadn't
there
noticed
all
it
the time.
actually. I hadn't noticed it until you said it. So nice.
There aren't many special units that are 0 to 4,
Yeah,
let
sure.
alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
And I had actually said that Skink Cloud was being restricted because of the 0 to 2 cap in core, but maybe
I don't
not.
think so.
So
I guess
yeah.
I guess it's the fact that it's 30% in Guerrilla Warriors, and I don't know what I haven't done any math to see how many skink gorillas you could have for that, but
Sure.
I imagine it's a lot.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's it. Cool. Yeah, I think you could easily get 4 units maxed out with 15 at a quick calculation. But yeah.
Yeah.
Right, we won't worry about that. We're not here to do maths. Weapon beasts. So I don't know what you think, but I think Salamander Wow Wow is the big casualty of the book.
Yeah.
I think a lot of things got better and reusable. Salamanders, I think, is going to be, well, bye bye, Mr. Salamander.
Yeah, I
If
think
I'm
so as
honest,
well.
I'm sad. I'm really sad.
Spear back slightly better.
Yeah, maybe. Very similar, actually.
Yeah.
They can't well, they couldn't march before anyway, march and shoot before, and they can't now. And a bit cheaper, spearbacks. But yeah, salamanders have lost strength 4 AP 1, and they're not flamethrowers anymore. I mean, admittedly, a breath weapon can be used more than once per player turn, per game rather. And
but
it's 2d6 hits instead of the flamethrower rules.
Otherwise, they haven't changed much. They've just got slightly weaker, the salamanders, and the same spearbacks haven't changed much. They're just slightly cheaper.
Yeah,
so
I mean, exactly. Salamanders are cheaper than they used to be, and you've now got the combined strength, which is an interesting one. Because that won't interfere with the light troops of the skink hunters, which is good.
Yes, sure.
But and of course, it's a very easy way of getting a cheap compound unit to give out a commanding presence. So there is that. Only discipline 6, but still.
And these are somewhat protected because of that as well. So I think they've got better because of it.
Yeah.
But as you say, the salamander losing the strength is annoying. But they won't play too differently. I don't think.
No. If you have them, they'll still be there as harassment and then late game trap.
Yes.
So all right, lovely. Pterodon riders. Now these have got the same armor as Ramphadons now, which I just don't understand. But hey, I'll get off my little soapbox about that.
Yeah, it's been going on about that.
Oh no. So as we mentioned in the mounts, these have lost a movement, which possibly makes them less effective. Well, definitely. Yeah. But I still think they've got a place. Aerial assault is still sweeping. And hey, would you look at that? They've got a blooming Enclave Wizard. Why?
Different spells as well.
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it?
I think what you've got to look at with the Enclave Wizards is the sheer amount of spells you can choose from it, because they're not all like you sort of look at the core and go, oh well, there's only 2 options in the 4 units. You're like, yeah, fair enough. Yeah. But then you look at other things, and I mean, I don't see why you would take the Coatl, the frog, but just because you can get it elsewhere, and so this is screaming out as like MSU, Enclave if you can get the leadership right.
Sure. Yeah. Fair enough. Interestingly, this unit can choose the marking bowlers, which is which is a way of getting marking lure, extra present around the battlefield, which is great, I think. So in armies that use that effectively, that will be a good option. Fly up and mark units and then go crazy with your rerolls to hit. Cool. So I like that.
With this unit, there's definitely different ways to play it, especially now. Perhaps why they've reduced the speed, because it becomes much more variety as opposed to the Ramphadons, which are a bit one-dimensional.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, cool. I like it as a thing. I just with champions and stuff. That was my main reason why the adepts given to them just seems crazy.
Sure, yeah, you'd have been happier with it being an apprentice Enclave Wizard.
Yeah, do that, and I think everything is fine. To be honest,
sure. Interestingly, with an Enclave Wizard, you're actually giving an extra HP to your Pterodon champion. So that's cool. Right, moving on, and this is where we get to the big boys.
Yeah, man, the fun bit.
Yeah, and I mean, once again, hopefully, it's kind of simultaneous with this video almost. I was joined by Tommy for a more detailed look at this section, and so we don't need to cover it, but I think we will just out of excitement, really.
I think so, yeah.
Stygiosaur pack. First of all, I was a bit gutted because my best painted model, thanks to Nemiroth, is 1 Stygiosaur, and this is minimum 2, so
you've got to butter him up again.
Exactly.
Do another one.
Get me another one, or he will forever be an Alpha Carnosaur. Spoiler alert, he will be.
I don't like that, really. There's a personal preference more than whether it's game breaking or not. Because there will be lots of people out there with one. I guess it's a reason to get another one, but
I just think could have easily been 1 to 4 and done. Change the 320 to something else. But one thing, moving past that, I really like this unit, and I know you don't.
You didn't
originally, anyway.
It was met to me. for sure.
Mm,
I like because not necessarily because they're bad, just because other things are better.
sure. You think so? Okay.
I think that there's lots of stuff that are better at what this does.
Okay. Okay. I just see Res 5, Armor 3 up, HP 4 per model when you've got at least 8 in the unit, and 110 points for each extra model is really effective. You know, you can get a
It's
unit.
right.
You can get a unit of 4 of these for
Yeah,
like less than
it
600
wait,
points.
it lost its toxic, right?
It
And
lost its Toxic Breath weapon, correct, but it has gained a banner enchantment and champion and standard and stuff now.
yeah, sure.
Um, plus being in multiple models. Um,
Yeah.
so
It's look, I don't think it's bad. It was meh to me because it had an obvious role before,
sure,
um, and I don't know. I guess they're just like
yeah, but now it's got scoring. It's even more of an obvious role. It's a scoring unit as well.
yeah, but you're not going to have an. I think that's a liability, if anything, because you got so much other scoring you're going to have in it. I guess it's if you don't, if you have like the non-scoring core, right? It's where it
Sure.
will come into it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems to do what everything else does, though.
Okay. Okay.
Like, yes, it's got four. So let's say you got two, right? So you got
Hmm.
8 HP, three up that five, rest five. Yeah, that's good. Eight
Hmm.
attacks, strength five, AP2 is all right. Poison's all right. Like some attacks D3s, okay. It's all right for a large cavalry. I just, I think lots of things can beat it, and it does the same things that all the other units do.
Fair enough.
Um,
Fair enough.
at strength five, AP2. That's all. It doesn't mean it's bad. And as you say, that I think though losing the toxic and the magicalness of it
Yeah.
just
Yeah. 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 You
means,
lost the Skink
um,
Rider. Yeah.
yeah, well, in terms of the enclave, right?
On this model, it's gained everywhere else, but yeah.
Yeah, it made it different, and now it's just another dinosaur, and I think there's better dinosaurs.
Well, that's it. I mean, elsewhere in the book, all the dinosaurs got you Haldars, and they've also obviously got compound units elsewhere.
Yeah,
This unit has neither of those, and
yeah.
so I think it's going to get left behind. But I'm not sure it should
That's
be left behind. I still think it's very
so.
good.
Yeah,
So,
and like I said, I don't think it's bad. I just think there are better things.
sure.
I think in a new book that's come out with so many options, I think this is one I would not be overly excited to play over other things.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Personally,
Yeah, yeah. No, no worries. We'll move on. And
yeah,
I mean, we have mentioned this guy,
yeah.
and Carnosaur. I mean,
He's like Sephiroth, right? You mention him, but no one sees him until the end, and just it's just so good. I know you go into it a bit more with Tommy, and
yeah,
I
yeah,
won't
yeah.
take too much away from that, but yeah, just baby dinosaurs being in
Oh, it's
actual
the best
models
thing
now.
ever. It's the best thing ever.
Yeah, it can go in units
Mm,
like your pack,
and
yeah,
will
your
go in
Raptor pack
units.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, just great. Just everything about it, great.
fantastic. Yeah, I mean, if this isn't in everyone's first list, I would be very surprised.
Yeah,
Those
this
who
is what
own
gets
one
you
anyway.
excited.
So you know, yeah,
This is what gets you excited about stuff, and like
yeah.
giving other rank and file
Frenzy
things
and
battle
Fearless,
focused
Battle Focus. Yeah, on
for
the
10 points.
Raptors. Yeah.
Are you kidding? Because all those Raptors have
Mm.
is it rank and file models? So is it the mounts as well?
It's only the
Standard piece.
mounts. Only the
It's
mounts
only the
get
mounts.
Battle Focus. Yeah,
They got two attacks each.
yeah,
Like 10 points is just the most auto thing I've seen ever in any
sure.
book.
Yeah, yeah,
It's fun to play. It's good, and it
yeah,
gives
yeah.
other things like it gives your core units something to actually be really good at. I just great. Everything about it great.
Yeah, although you can't put a Carnosaur in your core units. So,
Okay, sure, yeah.
well, you can put them in a Raptor pack core unit. Sorry.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah,
So yeah, absolutely, yeah, it's still there. Mm. Yeah, and actually, it increases their discipline to 7 for a compound
yeah.
unit. So, which is giving
Just
out a
does
bubble leadership. So,
it does so many things. And oh yeah, by the way, it's a cancel.
yeah,
Like just
multiple wounds 2 against standard and large. I mean, that covers
yeah,
most characters, so
yeah,
you're
it does.
fine
Yeah.
there.
So yeah,
Um,
I no the absolute A plus plus unit in the book.
Definitely, yeah, 100%, and not expensive either. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Right, I'm going to try not to scroll down too much because we need to talk about the little Taurosaur first, the little baby
Little
Taurosaur.
Taurosaur.
Oh, little Taurosaur.
Yeah.
He's got cheaper, so there's that.
Yeah.
And we already talked about him in the mount options. And funnily enough, there's not a lot more to say.
No. Can
it's
have a
the same.
Haldar, so great.
Yeah.
Single model. Yeah. I think it's still good.
Yeah.
In fact, I think you'll still see some of them.
Will you see lists dominated by 3 Taurosaurs anymore? I don't know, because now you've got other stuff.
Yeah, that's another I don't think, but it has rolls and it still could. It's like impact. It's 3d3, strength 6. Having 3 of them to zone is absolutely still like your old. What I quite like is your old playstyle is pretty much still there. Like one of the main ones is Skink Cloud plus Taurosaur, and you can definitely still do that.
Definitely, yeah. And I mean, other than the unit we haven't got to yet, this is your Res 6 model, so
yes,
nice, you know.
Yeah.
And 3 up armor, of course. So yeah, not terrible at all. But of course, he does look like a baby in comparison to every other monster unit in the game now that's coming out, all on bigger bases.
Mate.
And then this guy just takes the biscuit in terms of base size, doesn't he?
Way to make the book feel dinosaur-y.
Yeah,
well done.
Tommy just lost his everything. Talking
You'll have
about
to keep.
this,
I'm not sure how PG it will be when you get to Titanic Pod.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god! Yeah, but it's really cool. I mean, for a monster that's going to be probably 657. Sorry, 600 points ish because of the Haldar.
Yeah,
you're going to take a Haldar.
Yeah.
It's expensive, but 10 HP.
Res 6 armor 3 up. Yeah.
Like,
and it doesn't give away rank flanks or rear because of walking mountain rule.
You stomp other towering presence stuff.
Yeah.
At 43 stomps.
Oh, yeah. And that doesn't always have to stay as stomp either. You could change that to impact hits with the item.
You could.
Which is insane. So
I'm not sure. I guess so. I guess you could.
There is agility 0, FYI.
Yes. Yeah, but it's massive. You ever played? When you play FF12, I think Final Fantasy 12, and
we're getting the FF references in here, aren't we? Yeah.
So much, it's just great. Everything about it. Sort of path destruction, obviously the 43 and stomp other things, great.
Yeah. We finally got a musician.
And 18-inch.
March to the beat,
great. And then walking mountain and then benefits from cover. Well, I guess that's the negative bit. Only movement 4, but March 14.
That's not shabby. It can get to where you need it.
I don't understand the fluff behind that.
No, it's a bit. I don't know which dinosaur this is, and is it?
Got to be Brachiosaurus, isn't it? That's what you're going for.
I guess so.
Well, a model agnostic, you can do anything. It could be a massive dinosaur.
You can do whatever you freaking want. Yeah.
We've said about the stomp attacks being really good, 43 stomp, because it is, but it only has 2 attacks. So it's stomp as opposed to attacks, basically.
Yeah. And it just needs to stay wherever you put it, no matter what's attacking it, really.
Yeah.
Because 10 HP will mean it can. So
yeah, it's great. You're definitely excited to try it out.
Yeah. I was interested not to see something like stubborn or supernal on it for baffling reasons, but so you can just break it. But
and discipline 6, right, as well. But exactly. It's going to have the.
It's probably going to have a BSB or communal bond. Commanding presence in range, you would hope.
This is the one where you do the hereditary on as well, right? That's probably your best unit to do on because it's only got 2 attacks. So in fact, it's minus. Although, does the -1 to wound affect a stomp?
It would, but you'd never boost the hereditary if you were doing it on
of
your
course.
own unit. So
you'd be maybe that's looking at the hereditary, I think this is the guy they've got in mind for that.
To boost up to discipline 8.
Because the stomps are auto hit. Obviously you do a -1 to wound on your enemies. So the reason it's an increase to -1 to wound is because of this guy.
Yeah, there you go.
But so I think great. Everything about it, wonderful. Excited to see it on the table. Excited to see the modelling opportunities. Really good new addition that's never been seen before.
There you go. Brilliant. Yeah. So there we go. We have reached the end of the Saurian Ancients book review. Thank you, Lucky Sixes, for returning to me for this.
No, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Guest appearance.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, now that you've been replaced by two other gents.
Yeah.
I think this book is really interesting as an overall conclusion. I really am going to enjoy writing this. It'll be interesting to see what gets toned down, what gets changed over the coming months, as it always is with a new book. The more I look at it, the more I think it's stronger than the last time I looked.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
And
I think that's the thing, though, right?
Yeah.
In terms of, what do you say, feedback and being constructive on it, I think there are so many rules that interchange with each other.
Yeah.
That it's going to be hard for beginners to play, and I think we said when we discussed it before, like actually quite hard for the opponent to understand.
Yeah, because there's so many knock-on
to
effects
start
of
out
everything.
with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just imagine explaining that I've got 4 different units that each give out a commanding presence bubble. I mean, oh man. Like you do against vermins, just assume everything is cold-blooded.
It's a slight worry in that everything is becoming so much more complex. And as you say, like every time you look at it, you go, "Oh, okay, so that goes with that, and that can be really good." And but unless you're absolutely studying this book, I think also like the opponents, they're not necessarily going to know that, and
no.
And beginners are going to find. I think this is subtly better than the old, but it's very subtle in places, and I don't.
Yeah.
There are a lot of rules that are on different pages that interlink with each other, and this does this does this, and this ignores this, or whatever.
It's no beginner book.
No, and I'm a little bit worried that that's becoming a thing with the labs in general. However, I would say it has made this book feel different. Has made it feel interesting, and like the other ones, like the extra rules and things. Because Kiwi have it, Vermin Swarms have it. It does make it feel different. The issue is it's slightly more complex than the other books.
Yeah. Great. Well, I think that's a good place to stop it. Thank you to the lab people that have put the efforts into designing it. It's really cool. That is never in doubt. And we'll be interested to see what your opinions are of the book. Now, you've seen all of it, whether it be through this book review or through the other content providers, which are all built up to this hype train. Or maybe you're just too busy to watch this video because you're building your lists, which is absolutely fine. But in case you have sat through the 2 hours of this, thank you very much.
Yes, well done, as always.
Yeah. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do all that. If you want to join Patreon, then that would be appreciated too. And this has been a very busy week for us in terms of releases because of Saurians and also Cardiff upcoming. Where this hype train is just keeps on rolling, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It certainly does. We're definitely going to be having like some games with this. It's going to be really cool to see. Won't be at Cardiff, unfortunately, because of timings of it, but straight after that, we'll get straight stuck in, I think.
Exactly, and we'll certainly be enjoying it very soon. I know I will. Great. All right. Thank you very much, everybody, and we'll say cheerio for now.
See you later.